founders' agreements are not founders' agreements, we replace them just with a shareholders' agreement,
Right.
because they should agree as shareholders.
Yeah.
Now, you touch on an important point. You typically see two stages of a shareholders' agreement, or you often see, I should say. So stage one, maybe up here, let's argue you've got 3 founders. And so that will be the version 1 of the shareholders' agreement. And then we go here, we now have the 3, and let's say we get 10 investors on board. Now this now becomes shareholders' agreement V2. And it's not uncommon to see this agreement here slightly rewritten or edited and re-signed by the time you get shareholders on board. That's fairly common. The shareholders' agreement from the outset should have things that are particular clauses for founders. So a typical clause for founders is you can't just fucking leave the company and start another company that's the same thing as us in competition with us. That's completely unreasonable. You would be surprised how many shareholders' agreement does not have a clause like that in it. So guess what? It comes to the time to the investors, they're going to go, hang on a bit. So a guy could just leave the company, start a competition, he knows everything about what we do, and we have no recourse against, and he's still a shareholder over here. That's kind of fucked up, but it's very common. You also need specific things at this stage here, when it's just the 3 founders, the 2 founders, how many you are. If you're 1 founder, you don't need it. But if you're 2 or more founders, you need things like, okay, so you're a founder here, you've got 1/3 of the shares, you're supposed to do some work. Heard about that one, right? And what happens if you don't do work? Are we going to take your shares? Are we going to beat you up? Are we going to string you across? Any of the above. You take your children in escrow. I don't know, but you've got to figure that out before you start. Because again, the most amount of disagreements between founders is not how much of the company you should own, but how much work they should have done. Rarely is ever they agree to go, oh, you should have 27%, you should have 25%. Who gives a toss? But fuck, you haven't pulled your weight for the last year. What's going on? That's not fair. I've done all the hard work. Sound familiar? Yes. So that's what should be in the shareholders' agreement. And so sometimes we see shareholders' agreements that actually vest the shares to the founders as well. So basically there might be, say there's 3 people that started, but 1 person had the original idea, so they become the principal founder, and the shares for the next 2 founders vest as they do the work. With the intention that after 2 years, they will be equal 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. If they don't pull their weight, guess what? No such thing. Are they going to pull their weight now? Yes, or ship out. Questions around that?
So usually, let's say we don't, for a VC round, usually you expect these documents to either be scrapped, not the constitution, but the founders or the shareholders to either be scrapped or be rewritten.
Not rewritten, just amended. If you've got that already, just a slight amendment for it.
Right.
Because there's often things that you hadn't thought about here that you know, oh, we're going to have external investors in, we hadn't really thought about what the consequences of that
We
would be.
would want
Sometimes.
everything like reinvest, like just
Sorry?
or that the investors would like to have many things just changed.
The investors don't have a say in this. No,
The
no.
shareholders are going to become shareholders.
No, that's not how it works. No. Okay, that's an important question. You're looking
About
at it
shares.
just through a
Yes,
hand
talk about
grenade.
shareholders, not the founders.
Yes,
Okay.
so shareholders don't have a say in that. If they're coming in as investors, should they dictate the terms of your shareholders agreement as founders? I don't think so.
Not the only 2 of us, but they come as shareholders.
Okay, so let's say that,
Let's say there's a right of first refusal.
okay, let's say there's 3 founders here, and we started a company, right? And so we had a shareholders agreement, we're all happy, smiley, right? So now we've progressed, we've developed our product, we're selling some stuff, we go to investors. We now push this to investors, say we want to raise $1 million, and you're going to sign on to the shareholders agreement, otherwise you can't be a shareholder. Unless there are very reasonable circumstances, that would be rare to see that, they don't have a say in the matter. If they don't like the shareholders agreement, they just wouldn't invest. Because imagine that you've got 7 different shareholders here, and they all have different ideas. So 2 of them are privates, one's a family office, 2 is a VC. Jesus, they will never agree on anything. Like that's it.
So typically
That's a very hard ask.
Okay, so typically they want, for example, the equity to be reinvested, right? To go reverse, the term is reverse vesting.
Reverse vesting.
Yes, that they want you to, some of the parts that you already own in the company to vest.
You're
again.
talking to VCs.
Yes.
Stop talking to VCs. Simple. You're too early for a VC if you're negotiating those terms.
Not yet, I just anticipated.
Yeah, don't go to people that just will give you $100,000, don't ask all the questions. Would be my advice. Like, how many millions do we need?
2.
2, okay, 4 investors,
$2
$500,000 each.
Yeah, 2+.
Yeah, the problem with VCs, they'll chuck this thing out. They'll say, well, you want to invest with us, we'll give you the $2 million, and so now terms, our way and the highway, and most likely you will sign terms that means you lose the company. Simple.
Terms that, sorry?
You will lose their company. Because you will not be able to meet the performance clauses in the contract, not in any of those that I've ever reviewed. Sorry?
Performance management.
Absolutely.
Can you
That's
give us
okay.
an example of how you would lose the company, as in a clause that would?
Oh yeah, because reverse vesting. So if you don't meet the $1 million cliff of revenue by year 2, we'll take another 10% of your shares away and give it to me. Or actually, not even give it to me, just give it back to the company if you don't mind.
Usually it's over time. They
Yes.
want you to reinvest over 2 years.
Yeah.
To make sure you don't go after 1 month away and take the equity.
Yeah, but it's like there's lots of ways in which these are people, I know a few of them that have lost their company simply because they didn't think of this very carefully through. Unfortunately. And I also know founders that end up with 3.72% of their business once they had an exit.
And this is something VCs do intentionally, wanting that outcome?
No. They never want a bad outcome for people, but it's a life insurance. So the reason they do it is that they don't really know whether you can do it or not. So it's their handbrake to hope to incentivize you to do it, but the reality is that most founders can't. So therefore, there is the sad fallback option. I don't think I know a VC that, sure, there's the occasional really bad shark out there, and I've seen some bad agreements to that effect, but most of them, they actually want you to succeed. They're actually putting it in because they know if you succeed, they make a ton of money, so of course they want that. They don't want you to fail, but it's their handbrake so that if things go bad, they have a way out. But yes, there are some. I've had one case where a well-known family office in Sydney with a very well-known co-working space that I shall not name, try not to release, in the financial sector, you can guess the rest, and one of my best friends wanted to invest in one of the companies. It's a well-known company, it's an equity raising platform, and she came to me, and I've known this girl for 14, 15 years. You know, we're always hugs and kisses, best friends, and I'm a husband really well, and kids, you know, it's that kind of relationship. So, hey, Mike, can review this agreement, I really want to put $250,000 into one of my good friends, I want to support him, and she has the money. And I reviewed the agreement and says, I don't think you can invest. And she was like, I was afraid you're going to say that. And she was like, so this kind of thing has that effect? I said, yeah. If you put your money in, you might as well just shred it. Because the guys that put the seed funding in, what they've written into the terms is they can take it all. They haven't yet taken it all, and because they have so much hot water around it, they've actually now changed their terms that they go into new companies with because they were so onerous. But yes, those are the agreements that are out there, for real, because I read them. So, and in that case, yes, I would say that's bad faith. That's not good faith. But most of the VCs that I know and that we often talk to, and there's probably about a dozen of them in Sydney that we talk to very frequently, they're all good folks. They're in the industry because they actually want to make a difference. But they do this because they're going, if this thing goes pear-shaped, we need some other way out. That's a handbrake clause. So you need to have all these things set up so that it can accommodate as many of these terms as possible within a mixed bag of shareholders. It's also one of the reasons we often suggest when you do go for your initial capital raise, don't just go with a single investor, because they will and can and should dictate the terms. But if you already got someone signing for 50, another one signing for 100, then some for 250, by the time the $1 million investor comes along and says, oh, well, these terms are going to go, that's going to be really hard, because we're really going to upset these guys already signed. Okay. Do you see how that just changed the whole dynamic of that? So it's all about deal timing, which is why capital raising is not that simple, fortunately. So that's a bit about shareholders' agreements.
So on that,
Yes, please.
so if we are now working on the first one, but with the intention to have the second one and get,
Yep.
funding at some point
Good.
relatively soon, should we really think about, all the terms in the second one
Yep.
and the provisions of
Yeah, and we'll go into a bit more detail what some of those terms are. What some of the things